1,000 years the sun has died, the moon commands the crimson tide. Blackened sails on haunted seas, whispers riding blood-red breeze. Night isles burn, the empire falls, treacherous voices fill the halls. A princess trades her crown for steel. Now every scar is earned and real, from palace walls to weathered decks. Destiny comes to collect. Hey ho, raise the black blood flag, ride the waves where the monsters drag. Vampyrates, born in the night, fangs are flashing in the pale moonlight. Treasure thunder, cannons ignite, rule the sea of endless night. Drink no mercy, show no grace, vengeance wears a queen's new face. Captain Akeyo hides her past, steering storms that never last. Ghostly currents lead the way toward fortunes no one dares to claim. From swabbing decks to leading raids, every rival meets the blade. Every victory writes her name, every battle feeds the flame. No throne was won by royal birth, she'll conquer sea and sky and earth. Hey ho, raise the black blood flag, ride the waves where the monsters drag. Vampyrates, born in the night, fangs are flashing in the pale moonlight. Treasure thunder, cannons ignite, rule the sea of endless night. Drink no mercy, show no grace, vengeance wears a queen's new face. Crimson oceans, silver skies, hear the ravens' battle cries. Every eclipse, every star guides us by the vampire star. The seas run red, the legends grow, strike the final killing blow. Raise the sails, let darkness fly, no one leaves these seas alive. From the abyss we'll take our throne, every kingdom will be our own. Vampire agents hear us roar, we are legends evermore. Queen Nira leads the endless fight, forever reigning through the night. Through the darkness they will roam, searching treasure, searching glory, searching blood. Vampire.
Aloha, it's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing a friend of the podcast, writer Fred Van Lente. Now, he is here to promote, his new series, Vampyrates from Boom Studios. Now, the first issue comes out on July 8th. So if you guys get a chance, put your orders in right now, or, when this interview comes out, make sure you stop by your comic book shop, pick up the first issue because it's a great issue. Now, Fred, welcome back to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How are you doing today?
I am super great, Jason. Aloha. Thank you for having me, or mahalo, I should say, more accurately. Great to be here.
Oh, and then, Fred, thank you very much for asking me, to do another interview with you. Thank you. And thank you for the advanced copy. It's listeners, I told Fred we're going to talk more about that issue, in a few moments. I just wanted to just give that I just want to basically just say that, Fred is the writer on the series, and then also too Luca Pizzari, his artist, on this series. Now, they've worked together on the 2017 Weapon X series, from issues 24 to 27, and this is available to read now on Marvel Unlimited. I don't know, Fred, do you want to have you and Luca worked on anything else besides Weapon X, or?
Other than Vampyrates, no. I was introduced to Luca. He did a fun storyline for us. It was the last storyline in the book where basically they end up going to hell, which was different. The Weapon X team, Sabretooth, Old Man Logan, all your favorites. and Luca did a great job with that. And then we found out, ironically, we were in a Comic-Con together in Richmond, Virginia, where we realized we lived not very far from each other at the time. So we got together and decided we want to do something together, and we bandied about a bunch of different ideas, neither of which impressed the other, until Adam sort of sitting there in awkward silence, and suddenly Luca out of nowhere said, "I have something, but it's just a title, Vampyrates." And like my head exploded, and I was like, "That's the one."
Yes.
Sold, and we were off to the races from there.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Actually, let me just, before we continue on, because I want to get back to that. I just want to let listeners know that I did get some of the information to prepare for this interview. I got some of the information from the Beat, the blog of Comics Culture. Now, the title of that article was "Exclusive: Van Lente and Pizzari Team Up for Vampyrates." Now, the article was written by Samantha Puck. Now, that came out in April 29th. If you guys get a chance, please check out that interview. And another article I stumbled upon after I prepared all the interview questions for this episode is from comicon.com. The article was titled "Talking Vampyrates with Fred Van Lente and Luca Pizzari." And that article is written by Rachel Belwar. That one's dated on May 22nd. So listeners, please check out that great in-depth article. That's very good. And also too, I got some of the a little bit more information from that article as well too. All right. So Fred, let's go back. Luca's going Vampyrates.
Right.
Did he tell you how did he come up with that? Like,
well, as Luca, as his name implies, was born and grew up in Italy. But he spent a chunk of his adult life first in England, in London, and then here in New York in the States. And so English is a second language to him. And so the idea of like language, of like words, he thinks about English words maybe different than those of us who grew up, with it as our first language do. And so he just thought it was amusing that no one had ever taken the word vampire and the word pirate and smushed them together. So he sort of stumbled upon it, and this series is the result.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna one other thing before we start talking a little bit more about it is this an ongoing series, or how?
Like most things in comics, if enough of you buy it, it will be.
Okay.
we definitely have 5 issues are written.
Okay.
But we could do 100 of these.
All right.
Because of the world we've created, we're so kind of enthralled to it and excited.
Yes.
We absolutely would want to do more.
All right. So I'm going to ask you because I'm going to ask you about a question about the world, because it's a great world that you guys created. Okay. But I'm going to ask, what is the story? What's the story about?
Vampyrates is a blood-sucking, swashbuckling adventure that takes place in a world run entirely by vampires. A nautical world. It's the Night Isles, which is underneath a 1,000-year eclipse, which has allowed all the vampires to take over, right? There are humans. They, in fact, outnumber vampires significantly, but they're a food source and second-class citizens.
Okay.
Over all of this is two separate but equally important bodies run by cousins. One is the Church of the Last Communion, which is their major religion, and it is run by a woman with the nickname Sister Duchess for reasons that we don't actually get into in the series, but we will eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And her cousin is Nira Winter, who is the Empress of the Vampyrium. So she's the hereditary ruler on the government end. And then one overthrows the other, forcing her to flee. And the exact circumstances I won't get into. It's in the first issue under spoilery. And she winds up, Nira, it does, on a pirate ship by accident. And so she goes from the head of the Vampyrium to a stowaway, a cabin girl, essentially, lowest of below, on a pirate ship run by the mysterious Captain Akeyo, who has her own reasons for hating the Vampyrium. And once that happens, we are off on the Night Isles for some swashbuckling adventure.
Sounds, like I said, this sounds very cool. Okay, so you've already talked about the story. Please talk about the world that you and Luca created, because this is the one I want to hear more. Yeah.
So as I mentioned, there's a 1,000-year eclipse. We spent one of the first things I decided when I heard the Vampyrates title is I didn't want to do like historical piracy with vampires in it. That has been done before and very effectively. But I feel about vampires the same way I feel about the X-Men. I feel like I don't believe that they would be like secret and persecuted in the shadows. They would just take over regardless of how few of them they were with. And now I'm talking specifically vampires, all their superpowers. The vampires in our world, they don't turn into bats. They can see themselves. A lot of like the mythology we have about vampires, that
Yeah.
sort of typical, all come from it's largely a Christian myth, right? So they're scared of crucifixes and they don't have souls. They can't cast a shadow. They see each other in mirrors. So how do they shave? I asked.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about this. Our vampires can shave because they can see themselves, because they essentially do have souls. Like, do I have a soul? I don't know, but I can see myself in the mirror. So they don't have any of the religious weaknesses because they don't. There's no sunlight to speak of, although that's not entirely true, as you'll see. There's an eclipse, right? So there's some sunlight around the edges.
Yeah.
So some clever vampires have figured out how to weaponize that, but you'll see that in the future. And I like, just taking a fantastical idea, and sort of just running with it logically. Like, if you know anything about the age of sail and the tall ships, like just like spaceships, those wooden ships would go on voyages for like months at a time. So much of what was on a sailing ship was to keep the crew alive, right? So they'd actually have goats and chickens and cows on board, right, to provide milk, eggs, feed the crew. Well, and the place in an old tall ship for that would generally be called a manger, where you call the livestock. Well, on our vampire pirate ships, of course, the manger doesn't have chickens and they have human beings locked up there. And so a lot of what the Vampyrates do is they pillage the ships, and to the consternation of the crew, Captain Akeyo actually frees the humans. Doesn't get them for herself. She lets them go.
Yeah.
Which uses many people. And so that's sort of like another logic by the Vampyrates thing. And then like there's other little things like I don't know how you feel about profanity on your podcast.
No, you can. Yeah,
I'll keep it to a minimum.
No, don't worry. Yeah.
So the big vampire, and this is something I actually came up with when I was doing Vampirella comics for Dynamite, because Vampirella is also an alien vampire. They don't say shit. Like, to me, the word shit is meaningless to vampires because they don't shit. Because they don't eat solid food. So their diet's really like it. So they say clots.
Okay.
I like that.
Yes.
So everyone keeps saying clots. Like that's their big swear.
Yes.
When you drop something heavy on your foot and you're a vampire, you say clots, because that to them is offensive and disgusting.
Because that's what the Duchess said in one of I was reading, and she said clots. I was like,
yes.
Did someone bleed and clot it? I was trying to figure it out.
You'll get used to it. Trust me.
Yeah,
that's instead of shit, because the word means shit. It means nothing to vampires because they don't shit. They don't get what it means. And then another thing is that we have all the plant life in this world is very weird because there's no photosynthesis because there's no. So all the plant life is very different than what we have here on Earth. Looks more like what you'd see on the bottom of the sea. Skin enemies and stuff. So I'm very excited to get into that.
I mean, Fred,
I could go on and on and on, but I want people to read the comic.
Yeah, but Fred, but what I love about this, the whole idea, just talking to you about it, is that, like you said, you didn't want to do the traditional vampire where, they can't, they can't see themselves in mirrors and all this kind of stuff. That is such a cool twist that you did with this, and the other thing, that you and Luca really thought out of this world, because if there's a 1,000-year eclipse, how is plant life going to grow? That's
Right.
so, I think that's so, and then the other thing I also have to mention too is that in the first few pages, I can't remember the captain's name again. He destroys another pirate
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah. Yep.
But the cool thing about it was, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like the crew of the disabled ship were being eaten by shark rat hybrid sea creatures.
Yes.
I could
Those.
be wrong.
Oh no, you're totally right. You're absolutely right. Those are vampire sharks.
Oh,
Yeah, we have vampire sharks. We have ghost typhoons. We have giant spiders. It's a spooky world, Jason,
you
in
know,
in in the world of the Night Isles.
but
But with more insanity to come. We're having too much fun on this book. It's
the
we're
other
having
thing,
a really good time.
because and that kind of sort of leads me to my next question, because just reading the first issue, again, we're mashing vampires, pirates, and then all of a sudden we have and it's not taking place, on Earth, it's someplace in outer space. So you have a little bit of the science fiction in there
Another
too.
dimension or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or some,
Buddha.
but I think the thing is, what I also, w- were you guys trying to make sure you guys didn't want to push too much of the horror elements? I mean, there's going to be some times where it's going to be a little bit, you got to have it because they're vampires and you have
Right.
humans. But were you guys trying to also try and make sure, okay, let's not make this to everyone's going to remember this is a horror comic book, or
Yeah. I mean, it's not well, once you decide your heroes are all vampires, I think, once the monsters become the heroes, I think you to a certain extent take the the horror element out of it, right?
hmm
The typically horror is from the victim's point of view, or the
hmm
person who's being attacked. In this
yeah,
particular instance, if we told the vampire story from a human being's point of view, I think it would absolutely be a horror story
hmm
because they're being oppressed in this
yeah,
society where they're a food supply.
yeah,
Um, it's like we there's some there are they're free range humans, there are humans who are treated very well. There's
yeah,
humans in particular in number one. There's a human very close
yes,
intimately involved in the government, which
yes,
that's we won't get into that.
yeah,
So there's definitely like a range of social opinions about the human situation, but yeah, I'm more interested in the vampire particularly when they're running the society. Then they end up being, and particularly when it's their point of view, they're in the power position. So yeah, that ends up being much less of a horror situation. However, that
mm.
isn't to say that there are not horrific things that happen.
Oh yeah,
There
yeah.
absolutely are.
Um, the other thing I want to talk about is I just love there's well, actually, I want to throw this out here because he's introduced in the first few pages and we don't see him again, but I love the name that you guys came up with, Johnny Red.
Yes,
Oh,
Akeyo's second in command.
but that, I mean, that's all we're gonna say, because I don't want to spoil anything, but
He's a troublesome one. That one.
but that was such a cool name. And then the other cool name I love, and I the Duchess um
Celia.
Basila Winter.
Yes.
Oh, and she
Lydia. That's Nira's family name.
oh and but the thing I love about her is, one, someone you don't want to mess with, you don't want to cross her. The other thing too, how Luca draws her, is that she has this air of arrogance and royalty, and like, I love it. It comes across the page. That's you know
Uh,
you, you
the
want hmm
the 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 wig, the headdress
yes.
that Basila, his sister Duchess, has is very much the Gary Oldman, Bram Stoker's Dracula wig. That was Luca loves that movie, and it's a huge influence on him. And the name Winter is stolen from Three Musketeers. That's the Milady's family name, who's one of the main bad guys in
hmm
Three Musketeers. That's where I stole that from.
but
Oh,
and then also too, the thing I also love is Luca's designs, the Duchess Winter's royal outfit, you know, um just her introductory into, I guess, the because it was supposed to be like a marriage, some type of court, for
The
the
wedding,
marriage.
yeah, like Godfather, the Vampirates opens much of it's at a wedding,
Yes, you know,
an
but I
attempted wedding, we can call it.
but I love, um, the Winter's royal outfit. The other thing too, I want, and I'm gonna have you do this, give a shout out to your colorists.
Yeah, Adam
Yeah,
Gzowski.
because the colors are very bright. I mean,
Yes.
you know, it it's really great.
So Luca, I don't think will mind since he's not able to join us today. I can say I know his big inspiration. So he and Adam went over the colors, um, a lot, and then I've been sort of giving my 2 cents. It's challenging when you have a world that has this 1,000-year eclipse and essentially doesn't have a light source.
Yes.
So there's a lot of discussion about that. But Luca's inspiration, believe it or not, was sort of the look of Scooby Doo, how those cells were painted, the
Okay.
original late 60s, early 70s Scooby Doo. And he kind of conveyed that to that kind of early animation. He kind of conveyed that to Adam, and that's definitely come across. It's very cool. It's challenging to come up with a world that's simultaneously alien but familiar enough not to totally weird people out.
Hmm.
And Adam's done a great job, and you're totally right
Yes.
to praise him.
But like I said, it's very, like I said, it's very well drawn. The colors are great. I have to talk about one scene. I think it's like early on in the first few pages, the pirate ship, and I believe the eclipse sun is behind. I love that scene.
Beautiful, yeah, it's a beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful image.
it
It's the
is.
first thing I saw Luca draw from the series, and when he did that, I was like, ah, this is gonna work.
Yes, yes.
I'm excited.
Um, let's see. Also, too, I'm going to say give a shout out to your letterer because I believe you worked with your letterer, this letterer before, right? On other
Yes.
projects?
Yeah, Jody and we did a book for a fantastic YouTube show out of New Zealand called Epic NPC Man.
Hmm.
And the great Bailey Rosemond drew that book, and it came out through Bad Egg. It's a great little one shot, so people should check that out. It's actually almost more of a graphic novel, 80 pages, but yeah, it's called Hero Outage.
Okay.
It's a great comic, and
You
Jody
know,
did a great job. And when Sebastian Gerner, our fantastic editor, said he was picking Jody, I was like, yes,
oh,
fantastic.
that's really nice. Um, Now correct me if I'm wrong, because I think because when the major domo Rindu was announcing
Rindu.
the Duchess's entrance, the lettering was, I mean, I could still try to read it, but it was a little not weird, but almost like little alien-like. Was that intentional?
Yeah, well, what's happening is, I don't know, maybe it doesn't totally come across, but like, so it's a wedding, right? So all
Yes.
these guests, it's a royal wedding. So all
Yes.
these guests have come from all over so they represent different islands in the Night Isles, parts of the
Yes.
Vampyria. So Rindu, the major domo, is as she's introducing them. Like in one case, uh, like there are these rune like characters that she introduced. So one of the islands is Thule, which is Nordic sort of Viking kind of vampires, and so the lettering gets a little, uh, runic, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm a child of the 80s, right? So there was this period like in Suicide Squad and other great like DC books
Yeah.
where there was Cold War shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
The letterers would cheat, like the great Todd Klein would cheat, and so instead of actually seeing Russians speaking in Russian dialogue,
Yeah.
you'd see them. He would actually letter the English like kind of pseudo Cyrillic,
Hmm. Oh,
and so
okay.
even though it wasn't actually Russian, it wasn't actually Cyrillic. We could read it in English, but it looked vaguely Russian. So I told Jody, do something like that.
Oh, that's so cool. No, but that's so cool because it to me it adds a little layer to the story.
Sure.
It does, it does. That I just think that's so cool. Um, So okay, and this is process questions I'm going to start going through. Is like, so how did you team up with Boom Studios for this series? Like, did they call you? Hey, do you guys have something? Or
Sort of. So when Luke and I were first cooking up Vampirates, I knew Sebastian a bit from when he was at Marvel and I was at Marvel, and he had been working for a company called TKO,
Mhm.
and we approached Sebastian with Vampirates as a TKO project.
Oh,
Sebastian really liked the project, although TKO eventually passed. He
yeah.
did remember it when he moved over to Boom Studios, so he actually reached out to us,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
remembering the project, and we,
Yeah.
life got in the way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we hadn't actually pitched anyone else, so it was still available. So we're like, great, let's do it with Boom, and they've just been fantastic.
Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I know you said TKO has already because I think I've got like one or two books from them. But like now, correct me if I'm wrong. TKO was just doing those huge graphic novels. Were you guys looking
Right.
to do like one or two graphic novels at that time, or was this gonna?
So it was, I think, the equivalent of 6 issues with the TKO format. So that outline was 6 issues. This is now 5. Um, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out, the first
Mhm.
5 issues. It's pretty much what was in that original TKO outline.
Yeah.
Um, I could tell you what the differences are, but it would be spoilery.
Yeah. Yes.
But of course, we all hope, of course, we're going to do 100 issues. So all that stuff is from the original outline is going to wind up in the series.
Yes. Okay. All right. Um, let's see. You know what? Let's talk about the variant covers just for the first issue because I think you guys got a number of variant covers. I know listeners, I know this is an audio podcast, but Fred has his screenshot behind him, has
This is the A cover I have
yeah,
behind
the A cover and it now
by Luca.
correct me if I'm wrong. It's done by Luca, and is it kind of like a homage to the American Vampire cover? Is that what it is, or is it?
Is it?
I don't know, or is it a homage to another type of vampire cover?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, but that was definitely a Luca question.
Oh, okay.
This was kind of the first thing he sort of came up with, was the cover. And then his wife Louisa actually did her logo. So it's a family
Oh,
affair.
yes.
Um, which is nice. So yeah, and what's fun is every one of the A covers moving forward will um have this motif of like one of the logo bisecting the cover and one image up a main image up
Yes.
top, smaller image at the bottom. So that's been fun. Once we hit issue 30, we're going to be like, why did we do this? It's essentially having to come up with 2 cover images, but so far, so we're still chugging along and it's still
Mhm.
working out.
And then also too, there's a glow in the dark cover too as well, right?
Yes, that's Boom's innovation. I don't think this has been announced yet. I don't know when you're airing the show yet, but I've said it before. So they have a very clever promotion for people going to San Diego Comic Con. There is a treasure chest. I think they're raffling it off or something that has at the Boom booth that will
Hmm.
have all of the covers in it,
So
which is pretty rad. And I think there's also a Vampires #1 San Diego specific cover. So they're going all out on this one. It's very exciting.
no, so Fred, I'm gonna let you know because yeah, because I'm gonna say hopefully on our end, if like you said, if life doesn't get in the way, because I'm looking to hopefully we can release this interview next week, the week of June 29th. So hopefully
Okay, cool.
pretty much plenty of time for people to listen
That's
you
right.
know, and
Book
then
their
people
flights.
be running to the Boom Studio at San Diego. Yep, they'll be
That's
yep.
right. And of course, #1, we'll bring this up later, but I have to. I'm so like in like the promotional like headspace. #1 comes out July 8th.
Yes. Oh yes, yeah.
Drop that news.
Oh, but I know. Oh man, but that glow in the dark cover, that sounds so cool.
I know it's pretty rad.
It does. Um, all right, Fred, I'm gonna slowly start wrapping things up. I know I've already asked you basic questions, what's the story about, your characters, and so forth like that. Is there something that I may have missed while while talking to you about vampires, is there something else that you want to that I haven't covered, or that we can't spoil, of course,
I I'm just thrilled with the way the first issue came out. The reaction so far has been fantastic. We're gonna try to sell out. We're gonna try to keep going. But obviously, uh, we need everybody's support. So if you hear this and really dig the comic, please go check it out and support your local comic shop.
Yes. Okay, like I said, I'm slowly wrapping things up. I want to ask you, so on social media, where can people follow you on social media?
I'm everywhere just at my name, Fred Van Lente, if you can spell that. And I should say, if you want to check out the amazing trailer, that the book trailer that Boom came up with, go to fredvanlente.com. It's there. You will not regret it. I'm mostly at Blue Sky and Instagram these days, although I'm at all of the other social medias.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've already talked about San Diego Comic-Con. Are you going to be there at San Diego Comic-Con
I
or?
wished I could. Unfortunately, I can't.
Uh,
We'll be elsewhere.
okay. All right. And then what about your convention appearance for, in the fall or later this year?
The light conventions scheduled for me this year. I will be at New York Comic Con. If you're in the New York City area on July 8th from 5 to 7, I'll be signing Vampyrates at Forbidden Planet on Broadway. And then on Thursday, I'll be at Pelham Comics in upstate New York. On Friday, I'll be at Anyone Comics in Brooklyn. And on Saturday, I'm doing count them, two comic stores because I'm crazy. First, I'll be at Aw Yeah at Harrison Comics, and then I will be at JHU in Staten Island.
I'm just joking about this. You're not going to be signing any comic books on any pirate ships or anything, or like
I
you're
wish.
not going to be in...
I wish. I would. Yeah. I would head to the Panama Canal and head up your way, Jason.
All right.
Doing that. I did. Right. The last someone. I just got a question of what's the longest you've ever been on a boat? Right. Mm-hmm. Was the question I got, and I think it was the last time I was in Hawaii. We did a cruise of 5 islands. So. However long it took, we went from the Big Island, I think, all the way back to Honolulu. That was the longest without stopping. So that was the longest I've been on a ship.
Wow. What cruise line did you go on, if you don't mind me asking?
It was Royal Norwegian.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just, you guys didn't stop off at any of the islands or anything?
We did, but we ended. Is Kona on the north or south of the Big Island?
Kona is on the...
We stopped twice.
West side.
It was the west side, right? So then we went from Kona to Honolulu. That stop. Oh. But we'd already been to Honolulu. Like that was the end of the cruise, right? So you fly into Honolulu, you get on the boat, you fart around to
Yeah.
You go to Maui, you go to Kauai, we stopped twice. We went to Volcanoes National Park, did biking. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
And then you get back on the boat, and then you go back.
Yeah.
Then you get on a plane in Honolulu.
Oh, so if you don't mind, I'm sorry. Sorry, listeners, we're going a little bit off track. So how did you guys like the cruise?
It was awesome. It was fun. Amusingly, it had this huge casino that wasn't used because it's the only Royal Norwegian cruise that's totally within the territorial waters of the United States.
Yes.
Gambling is illegal.
Yeah.
So the casino just sat there because you weren't legally allowed to use it. But it was great. It was really cool. The restaurants on that particular ship were fantastic. It was like American themed because again, it was one of the few cruises you never leave the United States territorial waters. So there was like a Thomas Jefferson French restaurant and stuff. So it was neat. It was fun. It was cool. Oh. And then another really good one was we did the Western Caribbean. So you start in Tampa, and then you go to a bunch of places, but then you go to Tulum, which is this amazing Mayan temple complex. And then you go back. So I like cruises. They're hotels that move.
Yes.
So I'm a big fan.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
We're looking at doing the Japanese islands.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Yeah. So as you can tell, I like groups of islands.
Yes.
I live on New York City, which of course is essentially a group of islands. So I have an affinity for groups of islands. And Vampyrates, needless to say, is set in the Night Owls, which is
Yes.
an archipelago. I was inspired by Earthsea. I don't know if there are any Ursula K. Le Guin fans out there. If you've read The Wizard of Earthsea, that's Earthsea is another island fantasy world.
I'm going to say I've heard of that. Was that series back in the 80s? You got to correct me.
It was like in the 60s.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I read it as a child in the 80s.
Yeah, because I remember.
They're fantastic. Yeah, this is another great fantasy series about islands.
Yes.
It's not all continents, you guys.
Yes. All right. Brett, this is going to be a little bit of a redundant question because I know you always encourage readers to go pick up Vampyrates that comes out on July 8th. Anything else you want to add? Any last words to our listeners?
I have some other regular books coming out. You can get All New Harbinger, which is from Valiant. Greg Pak and I are doing Gaston, one of the Disney villain series from Dynamite. And of course, there's my ongoing cyberpunk series, The Future Is, out from Record Comics. Issue 15 should drop or is about to drop soon.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Fred, just, again, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to interview you. Thank you for writing comics. Fred, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the success with Vampyrates. Again, listeners, issue 1 comes out on July 8th. As Fred said too, I'm gonna, give a shout out to Boom Studios because if you're in this, so listeners, if you are attending San Diego Comic-Con, Fred said I believe they're gonna do a drawing or something where there's gonna be literally a treasure chest of, of all the variant covers of number 1 in there, going, see if you can grab that. That'd be pretty awesome. And make sure if whoever wins that, when you see Fred in your neck of the woods of a comic shop or a con, you bring him that treasure chest, plop it in front of him and go, sign all these. I'm joking, Fred. I'm joking.
I'll do it. I don't dare me. I'll do it.
All right. Now, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader, who wants to read a new series with with such great twists. I mean, as we talked about, Fred said, there's a twist on on the vampire lore, and they're pirates in this book. I mean, we're talking, and there's also like there's intrigue, there is like betrayals, and you guys got to check out Vampyrates #1. I read the first issue, I love it. It sets up the characters and this world. We've just only in the first issue, Fred and Luca just touch on a little bit of what this world is like, and I cannot see, I cannot imagine what else you guys have in store for us for this world building.
Come along for the ride.
Yes. And then I want to thank Drew, the Close-Up Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. I want to thank you, the listener. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
You sons of salt and bite, who fear no morning sun. The 1,000-year eclipse is here, our voyage has begun. Our voyage has begun. We'll claim the deep and drink the tide, where cold black waters run. I'll wear with daggers in the dark. I stowed away on Abyss hull a cold and hungry spark. I watched the deck and pulled the rope against the steel. charge to harvest what we reap. No longer swab or stolen bone. I'll trade the earth for heavy waves and call the sea my own. The ocean turns from black to red. The salt is in my skin. I found a kingdom in the storm where all the dead are king. We'll claim the deep and drink the tide where cold black waters run. I'll wear a crown of iron foam until the world is done. Until the world is done. Let the waters run red, by the sword and the sail. I am queen of the night, and the dark shall prevail.